Hello friends, welcome to Trunkie Academy, and now today we'll start with another topic. Okay, and till yesterday we are studying about the morphology of flowering plants, and with regard to that we have already studied about modification in roots and modification in stems. Okay, now today I will study about the structure of leaf, and then some important modifications that are observed in leaf for different functions apart from the main function. Okay, we have observed that in case of roots, which is especially responsible for absorbing water from the soil, okay, in some plants this is modified to perform some other functions depending on the environment or habitat in which the plant is growing and living. Similarly, we also observe that stems which are above the ground, okay, or develop from the shoot, and they grow upward, but has been modified in some cases, and they are also performing different functions apart from the main functions of holding branches, leaves, fruit, flowers, etc. Okay. Now today we'll study about the leaf, and first we'll start with the structure of the leaf. You know, this is very simple topic and very easy to understand. The leaf are the important structure, vegetative part of the plant, vegetative part. Okay. These are thin, flat structure with pores, and also many chlorophyll pigments, and that are specialized to manufacture foods with the help of sunlight. Okay, when we talk about the manufacturing of food with the help of photosynthesis, it means that they are also involved in the the diffusion of gases. Okay, so some kind of diffusion of gases also takes place through the pores, like minute pores like stomata, and the photosynthetic pigment that is present in the leaves that play a very important role in entrapping the solar energy. And apart from that, we also these leaves are in certain cases modified to perform other functions. Okay, now we'll see here. It is developed at the node. I mean, when there is the stem, like for example, if this is the stem, okay, and here this is the leaf. Okay, so now it bears a bud called axillary bud in its axil. Okay, so you see this is the structure of the leaf. Okay, and the main region, the leaf, like this one is there. Okay, we'll see that in detail also. This is the main portion. This is the whole. This is called the lamina, and the main in the middle one, this is the midrib. Okay, and the branches, the midrib, after midribs, there are veins are spread all over the lamina. That is called the veins, and the venation is called reticular venation in case of the dicotyledonous, and in the parallel venation in case of the monocotyledonous plant. Okay. So you have already studied monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous, so you know very well. So in case of dicotyledonous, it is reticular venation, and in case of the monocotyledonous, it is the parallel venations. Okay, so I hope you understood. It is developed at the node, means where the nodes, okay, where there is from the leaf, the stalk is developed. Remember this: when the stalk is developed, the leaf is born at the site, that is the node, and the distance between one node and another node is called internode. Okay, and this node bears a bud and called axillary bud in its axil, where this leaf are. Now, axillary bud later develops into branch. Okay, so that axillary bud which is there on the stem, that develops into branch and bigger in size, and then the branches will develop into another branch, sub branch, where the leaves are born. Okay, leaves originate from the shoot apical meristem. Okay, meristematic tissue is present in both root and shoot. Okay, and then shoot develops into stems. Okay, the apical meristem, the meristem that we already studied, meristematic tissue. Okay, the types of meristematic: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem that we have already studied in previous classes. Okay, so leaves originate from shoot apical meristem. Okay, and leaves are arranged in an acropetal order on the stem and branches. Okay, in acropetal like this. Okay, circle one, then like this. I will show you. If this is the sun, and above this there will be and then above. Okay. Okay, then sidewise and acropetal, spirally, acropetal. Okay, spirally. Okay, now these are the parts of the leaf. Okay, the petiole or stalk, which is they are with the branches or with the attached with the stem. Okay, Then the mid-ring, okay, that goes to separating the lamina into two parts or halves, okay, mid-ring. The margin, okay, that is called the blade, the mid-ring, okay, and the veins are there. I told you in dicotyledonous plant it is reticulate venescence, okay, and there is small netted veins, small nets. Veins are present, that is called veins, okay, and that is responsible for transporting the water dissolved with minerals. So these are the typical structure of the typical leaf, and these leaves are most important vegetative organ for photosynthesis. Though we have observed that some photosynthesis takes place in some part of the stem also, but leaves are the main organ, vegetative organ that carry out process of photosynthesis. Okay. So a typical leaf consists of three main parts: leaf base, petiole, leaf lamina. Now see another diagram, a picture where you can see all the different parts. Apex, okay, it is normally conical, okay, and towards the terminal, that is it is apex, and leaf margin, veins are there, the leaf base, petiole, and axial bud stipule is there. Okay, so this is the different parts of a typical leaf. The leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base, and it may bear lateral small leaf-like structure called the stipules. Small. There you can see this small like here. Okay, this is stipule. This one, the green in color. So this is a stipule, leaf-like structure, small. Okay, so leaf base and it may bear at the leaf base. In monocotyledonous plant, leaf base expands into a sheath covering, okay, small, a fine covering, a thin covering. The stem partially or completely is called a sheathing leaf base. In case of the monocotyledonous plant, it is found in monocotyledonous plant. Okay. Now, in case of what is pulvinous base, leaf base? This is important for example. In some leguminous plant, okay, the plants which has nodules in the roots, okay, nitrogen fixing, root nodules, okay, that plants belong to Fabaceae, leguminosea, like example pea plant, okay. So these leguminous plants, the leaves in these plants, the leaf base may become swollen. Okay, at the base of the leaf, it may be swollen, and it is called pulvinous. So that is called pulvinous. Now you can see in the picture this like this, pulvinous leaf base, pulvinous. It is swollen at the base. Okay, it is called pulvinous leaf base. So pulvinous, okay, like this. Okay, it is found in the leguminous plant. Okay, so at the base there is a swelling. Okay, and its stipules are there. Petiole, it helps in exposing the lamina to sunlight. Petioles is stop. The structure is connecting with the branch or system, holding the main lamina. Okay, so that has to present. That has to expose. The surface should be exposed to the sunlight. So it helps in exposing the surface of the leaf to sunlight so that the sunlight can be entrapped by the photosynthetic pigments that is present in the leaf. Okay, long, thin, flexible petioles allow leaf blades to flutter and bend, so that it can. Okay, if it is very hard, then it will be very difficult. So the little bit of movement is also allowed by this long, thin petiole. Okay, so thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to leaf surface. So this is the function of petiole. Okay, so petiole is allowing certain movement, and also it is exposing the lamina of the leaf to sunlight for photosynthesis. Now this is the petiole, in the picture you can see, and which part of the plant helps in exposing lamina to sunlight? Petiole already discussed, and you have already understood also, I think. The lamina or leaf blade is the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and ventlets. Okay, there are veins, and again these veins are again branched into finer and smaller ventlets. Okay, so lamina is the main portion, okay, or the leaf blade, main portion which is expanded part of the leaf, and that contain veins and ventlets. Okay, there is usually a middle prominent vein is there, which is known as mid-rib. Okay, mid-rib. So they're dividing into the leaf into two parts. So you can see this portion. Okay, so this portion is the this whole portion. This portion is the lamina. This whole portion is the lamina, and this is the midrib. This is the midrib. Okay, so lamina, and veins are there. You can see, okay, and veins. So lamina, this whole portion is the lamina, and this is the, you can see the midrib, okay, and the veins you can see. Veins provide rigidity to leaf blade, okay. Veins are there. It acts like a skeleton of the leaf, to providing the rigidity and support to the leaf, okay, or leaf blade, and also acts as channels of transport for water, minerals, and food materials. So since it is distributed, branched into finer branches again, so it is also acting as the vessels, okay, or the channels for transport of water, minerals, and food materials. Okay, the shape, margin, apex, surface, and extent of incision of lamina is vary in different leaves. So shape, some may be very long, some may be very short, some may be very spherical, some may be the apex or surface, the margin or extent of incision of lamina. All these things vary in different different leaves of the plant. Okay, so depending on the plant, like this. Okay, sir. So you can see variety of leaves. Okay, so this is the variation in the leaves. Now some questions we will look into. Swollen leaf base in leguminous plant is called pulvinous. You know the very well. Okay, so it's not petiole, it's not lamina, it's not stipules, but it is pulvinous. So in some leguminous plants, the leaf base may be swollen. This is called pulvinous. Which part of the leaf is useful for attachment of leaf to the stem? Is it the leaf base, or is it the petiole, is it the lamina, or axillary? It is the leaf base. Okay, so it's very easy. Okay, this kind of question is which part of the leaf provides rigidity to the leaf, petiole, or leaf base, or leaf blade, or veins? It is the veins that provide rigidity. Okay, the veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade and acts as a channel for transport of minerals, water, and food materials. Okay, so veins provide the rigidity. Vegetative axillary bud develops into leaf, flower, stem, its branches. Okay, it develops into branches. Okay, so axillary bud develops into branch. Now the leaves veneson, or you can say the types of leaves. Okay, the leaf veneson and the types of leaves. We have studied about the typical leaf structure. Okay, now we'll study about the veneson of the leaves and the types of the leaves. Okay, veneson, the arrangement of veins and the ventlets in lamina of leaf is termed as veneson. How it is branched, how it is spread, how it spreads over the lamina. Okay, the pattern that also differs, and there are two types. Okay, so that spreading is in veneson, and there are two types, and this is the veneson means we have got reticulate and parallel veneson. Reticulate, when the ventlets form or network, the veneson is termed as reticulate veneson. Leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possess this veneson, dicotyledonous, because we see the veins are like this. Okay, the leaves are like this, and you have already observed. We will see in the picture also. If this is a midrib, so they have branched like this. Okay. Overall, so leaves of dicotyledonous plant, they possess this kind of veneson. You can see this. The veneson you can observe in the leaves of dicotyledonous plants. It is reticulate. Okay. So veins and ventlets are clearly visible. Okay. Reticulate veneson. Now parallel venescence, as we have already studied in previous classes also, that parallel veneson is found in monocotyledonous plant. When the veins and ventlets are run parallel to each other, and within a lamina, the veneson is termed as the parallel. Now in case of the monocotyledonous plant, maize, okay, rice, grass, wheat, okay, we find the parallel veneson. The veins are running parallel to each other. Okay, so this is the example of parallel veneson. Okay, types of leaves based on the morphology or appearance of the leaf lamina. Leaves are classified into two types based on morphology or appearance of leaf lamina. How leaf lamina are appearing, okay, and these are the simple leaves and compound leaves. You see, simple in these leaves, lamina is entire, or if it is incised, the incision does not touch the midrib. Incision means there is a gap. Okay, so do not touch the midrib. So this is the simple leaves. This is example simple. Lamina is entire, okay, and not incised. If incised does not touch the midrib, that means there is not. For example, if this is a leaf, okay, there some kind of leaves are like this. Okay, if this is incision, it's not touching the midrib. Midrib is here. It's going up to here only, not going up to the midrib, not up to the midrib. Okay, so this is like in case of this one, you see, it is up to here. It's not going up to the midrib. This is the midrib. Okay, and this is the incision. Now in here it is entire, not even incision. So this is the called simple leaves. Okay, simple leaf. In case of compound leaf, in this leaf, the incision lobes of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking into number of leaflets. Okay, so lamina is divided into number of leaflets by incision. Okay, lobes. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of leaflets of the compound leaf. Now you can see the compound leaves are two types: pinnately compound leaves and palmately compound leaves. We will see both one. If we say pinnately compound leaf, the number of leaflets are present on a common axis called rachis, like this. There is a common axis, and then there is the lace on either side, on both the sides. Example, neem. Okay, this is called pinnately compound leaves, but not palmately. It is pinnately. What is palmately? That also you say. Here in pinnate leaves, point to be remembered is that it has a common axis. Remember this. This is important. A common axis called rachis, from where the leaves or leaflets are formed, or leaves are formed. Okay, and in case of the palmately compound leaf, here you can see from the central region. Okay, like a bombox siba in silk cotton. Okay, the leaves are forming from one central region. A palmately compound leaf, the leaflets are attached to a common point, to a central point. Okay, and that is at the tip of the petiole. So from the tip of the petiole, the leaves are originating. Okay, in a bunch or a group. So that is called the palmately compound leaves. Okay, example is the bombox siba. Now, venesis includes arrangement of leaves. Okay, or is it the arrangement of roots, or is it an arrangement of veins, or is none of that? This is very easy questions. I have given this question just to keep you revising things. Okay. So parallel venation is seen in dicotyledonous plant, or it is the monocotyledonous plant, or dicotyledonous, both, or none of this. It is the dicotyledonous plant. Monocotyledonous plants, this parallel venation is observed. In dicotyledonous plant, reticulate venation is observed. Okay. Compound leaves are again divided into how many types? Okay, divided into 2 types, or 3 types, or 4 types, or 1 type. 2 types: pinnately compound leaves and palmately compound leaves. Okay. What is the scientific name of silk cotton? Bombox siba. Okay, silk cotton. It is the bombox siba. Alstonia or Nerium is bombox siba. Very simple. Okay, so this is the silk cotton. Now comes to the leaf phyllotaxy. In case of phyllotaxy, what is phyllotaxy? The pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branches is called phyllotaxy. How the leaves are arranged in the stem or branches. Okay, that pattern, the pattern of arrangement, how they are arranged, that is called phyllotaxy. It is usually of 3 types. Okay, alternate, opposite, or whorl. You can see some are alternate. One, if this is the here it will be, then alternate there will be another leaf in this side. Alternate one. Okay, and opposite, right, if the leaf is here, and right from there, right just opposite from there is another leaf. But an alternate, one will be here, another will be from here, and then here, not at the same region. Okay, opposite, and whole means a bunch. So many at the same point. Okay, at the same node. Now you will see these are 3 types. Alternate phyllotaxy. A single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner in this phyllotaxy. Hibiscus rosa sinensis, China rose. Hibiscus, you will see at the node one leaf is formed. Okay, and another one is formed at another side. Okay, and a little above or another node, at another node. Okay, so here you can see this is alternate. Okay, one leaf is formed at each node. Okay, in alternate manner. So this is the called alternate phyllotaxy. Okay. Now in case of opposite, a pair of leaves arises at each node. So 2 leaves arise from and they lie in opposite to each other. So like this. Okay, leaves are formed. Calotropes, example is the calotropes. Yeah, you can see. Okay, at each node, two leaves are formed, and they are opposite to each other. Okay, so this is called the opposite phyllotaxy, and also observed in guava. Guava is calotropes. Now hold. Okay, here if more than two leaves arise at a node and form a hole, then it is called whole phyllotaxy, as found in the nerium. Okay, so more than two. Okay, they are not opposite or not alternate, but there are more than two, 2 or 3, 4, 5 at the one and from one node. Okay, so it will be called like this. Yeah, nerium and alstonia. Okay, so they are the whorled phyllotaxy. Now modification of leaves. Now another important topic is the like roots, stem, leaves are also modified. Okay, and the main functions is to carry out photosynthesis, but apart due to requirement of or need of the plant, in some cases leaves are modified to perform other functions. Okay, they are converted into tendrils, spines, storage leaves, phyllodes, trap leaves, and reproductive leaves. Okay, so they are modified to perform different functions, to provide support, like in tendrils, to prevent from the predator in spine, or to reduce transpiration, spines, or store food, like storage leaves, phyllodes to conserve water, trap leaves to insectivorous plant, and reproductive leaves for vegetative propagations. Okay, so they are there. The tendrils are a long, wiry, spirally coiled, sensitive structure formed by the modification of leaves or leaf tendrils. Okay, they are useful in climbing. So they are climbing of the plant. They help in climbing of the plant. Okay, and like this, whatever they find, they coil around that structure and they help the plant to climb. Okay, so this is a tendril, modified leaf. Leaf is modified. Leaf tendrils of Pisum sativum, pea plant, Pisum. Okay, or terminal tendrilar leaflets. You can see. Okay, so leaflet is then it is modified into tendril. Spines, the small pointed structure formed by the modification of leaves are leaf spines. Okay, and these are formed to reduce the rate of transmission and useful for defense. Okay, so if some plant are being eaten by some other organism or animals, okay, so to prevent that, spines are formed, and also to reduce the rate of transpiration. Okay, the cacti, as we find in case of the cacti, because here water is not available in sufficient quantity. There is a scarcity of water. Okay, and leaf spines of opuntia. Okay, storage leaves where the leaves are storing food. It is fleshy. It becomes fleshy and storing food, like an onion. Okay, Allium cepa is the scientific name. Okay, and here in case of garlic also they are modified to store food. Okay, the storage leaves of Allium sativum, garlic, and Allium cepa, onion. Phyllodes. The leaves are pinnately compound in which leaflets are small and short-lived. Okay, petioles in these plants expand, become green, and synthesize food called as phyllodes. That means actually they are modified. They expand and become green to synthesize food as phyllodes. Okay, so their leaves are pinnately compound and leaflets are small and short-lived. Okay, but petioles in this plant expand, not actual lamina. Petioles, they expand and become green and take over the function of photosynthesis. Okay, so that means the main lamina is short-lived. Leaflets are small and short-lived. Okay, but the petioles, they are expanded, they become green, they have chlorophyll, and they carry out the process of photosynthesis, called phyllodes. So this is a picture of the phyllodes. Okay, they are modified petioles. Okay, phyllodes of Acacia. This is the best example of the phyllodes you find in the Acacia. Trap leaves. When there are some kind of plants which are insectivorous, okay, and they trap when some insects they live and they just close with the help of the trap leaves. Okay, these are trap leaves. They have modified leaves to trap insects for their nitrogen requirement. Okay, there's some kind of, here you can see. Now this trapping, how the trapping of the insects takes place with the help of these modified leaves. Okay, when insects live there, they simply they are trapped into the leaves and they extract the nutrition from that insect. Okay, so this is the trap leaves. Okay, here also you can see trap leaves. Look at the Venus plant. This is another is the Venus flytrap, and this is the pitcher plant. Venus flytrap and pitcher plant, where also it is this leaf is modified and it will be closed when any insects or small animals enter into that. Okay, so pitcher plant, Nepenthes and Dionia Venus flytrap are the best example of the trap leaf. Okay, so forming a trap. Tendril, upper petiole. Okay, and pitcher, modified lamina. So that modified lamina, the main portion of the leaf, okay, the veins, that is modified into a pitcher-like structure, modified lamina. Okay, so that pitcher is actually the modified lamina. Okay, so how this modification. And phylloid has formed a lower petiole. Lower petiole is divided, modified into phylloid. Okay, so for reproductive leaves, these are for vegetative propagation. Okay, leaves may also modify help in vegetative propagation. Okay, for vegetative propagation. So asexual reproduction. Okay, so these leaves which are modified for vegetative propagation, so new individual plant may be developed from the vegetative part or from that modified leaf. Okay, epiphyllous birds which arise from the notches cut of leaves develop adventitious roots. When epiphyllous birds got detached, they develop into individual plants, reproductive leaves of bryophyllum. So you can see the margin. The new plant is growing from the leaf, bryophyllum. The birds have formed at the leaf margin. Okay, that is the best example. Okay, another also you can see. Okay, so the leaf margin, the plants are growing from them. So this is the vegetative part. Okay, vegetative part. Roots, leaves, stems are the vegetative part. So not sexual reproduction is going on, but from the vegetative part a new plant can grow. This is called vegetative propagation or vegetative reproductions. Okay, so from the leaf, a new plant or leaf margin, new plants are growing. So this is called your vegetative propagation. Okay, so epiphyllous birds which arise from the notch or cuts of the leaves, they are going to then there is a cut or notches. Okay, or there is any kind of tear. From there adventitious root is found. You can see in the first diagram. Here, this is forming the adventitious root. So this is forming the adventitious root. This one forming the adventitious root. There. Okay, and the new plant is growing on the upper side. Okay, so there is a notch. Okay, where this adventitious root is found. Adventitious root is found or formed, and that gives rise to a new plant. Okay, new individual plant body. So that is the vegetative reproduction. Okay. Now we'll go through some MCQ. What is meant by phyllotaxy? Very simple. Phyllotaxy is the study of or pattern of arrangement of leaves on branches or stem. Okay. Arrangement of leaves on stem, or arrangement of veins, or arrangement of leaves on petiole, or none of this. It is the number one. That is the arrangement of leaves on the stem. Okay. Phyllotaxy. The pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branches. It's called phyllotaxy. Now in Hibiscus rosa sinensis, that is China rose. Okay, the scientific name of the China rose is Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Okay, the common name and its scientific name you should also remember, because whatever the names that has been discussed, there are so many examples, but examples that has been discussed in the NCERT books. Okay, like China rose and the scientific name of the Hibiscus rosa sinensis. These you must remember. Okay, alternate phyllotaxy, or opposite phyllotaxy, or whole phyllotaxy, or none of this. It is the alternate. In case of the Hibiscus rosa sinensis, we find the alternate. At each node, one leaf will be formed, okay, and that in alternate manner. So that is the alternate phyllotaxy. Now in Nepenthes, pitcher plant, okay, modified petiole. Pitcher is modified petiole. In Nepenthes or pitcher plant, pitcher is it the modified petiole, or pitcher is it the modified stem, is it modified lamina or modified root? It is modified lamina. Lamina is modified into the pitcher, like it's a pitcher plant. Okay, so it is called pitcher. Okay, so lamina of that leaf is modified into the pitcher. Okay, what is the example of trap leaves? Very simple. Venus flytrap, I told you, is it? Pisum, Nepenthes, Bryophyllum, or Acacia, Nepenthes. Okay, that is pitcher plant and Venus flytrap, Nepenthes. These two are the examples of common examples of trap leaves. Okay, you can see trap leaves, Nepenthes. Now this was all about the structure of leaf and the modifications. Okay, so leaf has some typical structure called midrib, okay, petiole, leaf margin, lamina, veins. Veins may be two types: reticulate and parallel. Parallel venation is found in monocotyledonous plant. Reticulate venation is found in dicotyledonous plant. Okay. Then there are two categories depending on the arrangement, okay, or pattern of the leaves on the stem and branches called phyllotaxy. That may be alternate, or maybe opposite, or whorled. Okay, and again there are two types of leaves: compound leaves and simple leaves. Simple leaves means there will be no notches or no kind of incision inside, and there will be hole. And if there is incision, it will not touch the midrib. So this is called simple leaves. In case of the compound leaves, there is the incision and that does the midrib. So there is two types again in case of compound leaves: pinnately compound leaves and palmately compound leaves. Pinnately compound leaves means there is a main axis called rachis, and the leaflets are formed on that rachis. In case of palmately compound leaves, the several leaves are formed at one region, from one point and central region, and the petiole, that is the palmately compound leaves. Okay, and there are some different modifications we studied about the depending on the functions. The leaves are modified. In some cases, the tendrils. Leaves are modified into tendrils for climbing and support, like in pea plant. Okay. In some cases, these are modified into the phyllodes for conserving water and reduce transpiration. Some are modified into spines to reduce transpiration and to prevent the plant from predator and to act as defense. Okay, and in some cases the leaves are modified into reproduction, vegetative propagation. So that is like leaf in Bryophyllum. And in some cases, leaf are modified to trap some insects. That is the trap leaves, like in Nepenthes and Venus flytrap. Okay, so this was about the leaf structure and the modification of leaves. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this very easy topic. Okay, and tomorrow we'll start with another topic. Okay, and thank you for joining and listening today, and tomorrow again we'll join at the same time. Right after this class, I will be sending you the DPP, as I have already mentioned several times in the previous classes. So again, I am telling you the same thing, that I will be sending your DPP after the class. You will download, you go to your academic booster, then you log in and you find that there is a link called resources. After clicking on that, you will find a link called writing material. From there you can get your DPP, download that DPP, go through the questions, answer those questions and send back to us for evaluations. Okay, so thank you for today joining, and again we will meet tomorrow at the same time. So till then, goodbye, take care.